Okay, we're back to this photo. I showed you some adjustment layers. We've talked about adjustments in photos earlier in the semester, using the levels to just change little things, but this is a more dramatic change that needs to be done. So let's take a look. If you have a really good point and shoot or a DSLR digital camera, you can shoot in Camera Raw. Camera Raw is a fantastic way to shoot things, and it gives you a lot more option. We're going to talk about that in another video, but we can also take JPEGs, which is this a JPEG, and I'm going to go up to Filter, and I'm going to go to the Camera Raw filter. Camera Raw filter is one of my favorite places to start with. I go here first and adjust things because there's so much control. Right off the bat, we're going to go into the basic mode, and we have temperature, exposure, highlights, shadows, black, white, clarity, vibrance, saturation, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to start with the exposure. I'm going to pull the exposure up a little bit, and it's going to change my exposure. Then I'm going to take my contrast and move that up just a little bit because we don't want to touch that tons. Shadows. Now this shadow slider is going to adjust the darkness of the shadows. So if I pull that shadow slider down, you're going to see all the shadows get darker. If I pull the shadow slider up, all my shadows get a little bit brighter, which is kind of nice. That's what I'm looking for here. I'm going to take the blacks, and I'm going to go to the left, which is going to beef up the shadows. If I go to the right, it drops down the blacks. I'm sorry, not the shadows, but the blacks. Here's the big money maker right here, the changer. I take the temperature, because it's very blue, very dark. I'm going to take this, I'm going to warm this photo up quite a bit. Pulling that over, and notice what that does is when I'm warming it up, it also brings in more detail in the face and the highlights. We're going to take the highlights slider and we're going to bump that up a little bit so it brightens up just the highlights and not the shadows. And then we're going to take the clarity slider and we're going to move that around. If you notice, we're getting a lot of noise in here, which is not a big deal because I can come to the detail slider and I can grab the luminance on the noise reduction and the contrast and color, move them up quite a bit. Not quite a bit, just a little at a time. All these sliders, just do a little at a time to see what they do. Experiment. This is a great way to adjust an image. Use the camera. This is where I love to go here first, get things started, and then if I need to, I can go in other places. We can go into different places like the effect panel and post-cropping vignette. So we can change a white vignette around the outside, or we can go to a dark vignette to draw your eye in. Change the midpoint. And now we took a photo. We can feather it a little more. Sorry, my laptop's a little older than I would like it to be, but it still works really good. So you can see here, that's the photo we started with. And after doing some adjustments in Camera Raw, I'm telling you, I love Camera Raw. It is excellent. Sorry about this wait. I also have a large photo open in the background. There we have a photo that's extremely usable. Alright, so Camera Raw is a great place to start some of your adjustments. I know in your readings in the book, this chapter shows you how to do red eye. Real easy to do red eye with the red eye reduction tool, the red eye tool. But this is the Camera Raw filter, and I love the Camera Raw filter. I'm going to show more and more of it, and we'll go from there.